Well, Robin is joining me here on stage because she is so passionate about the issue of domestic violence. In fact, she is one of the most active and I think effective ambassadors for fighting domestic violence in America today. And you started a nonprofit foundation called When Georgia Smiled with the sole purpose of helping victims of domestic violence.
We create educational programs that are being used in schools across the country. We have also created an app voted on Capitol Hill as one of the top 2 apps best at helping to raise the awareness of domestic violence and sexual assault.
And let's talk about how this works. And this is going to be a little fuzzy for a reason, because we want you to understand how it works, but we don't want to over-educate the abuser. You just have a regular smartphone and you see it has a button on it that looks like every other button. And in this case, it's a news service.
And it runs current news for that day.
Yeah, so if somebody gets hold of your phone and they say, okay, I'm going to check Daily Mail and see if this is real, they click on it and Daily Mail does come up. Mm-hmm. But let me tell you what's really going on. You see the bar across the top, your green bar from the server? If you tap that bar 3 times, you just do that 3 times, 1, 2, 3. What happens is, behind this, you have in advance set up messages. And you tap that phone 3 times and it sends those messages out automatically to whoever you have programmed it to send them out to. It can be 911, it can be your mother, it can be your neighbor across the street, and the message can say anything you want. It can say, things are getting really dicey over here, please come knock on my door, please call the house. Or the one that goes to 911 can say, my life is in danger, come in quiet, but come now. If they take your phone and put it in their pocket and they move you to another site, it's got a tracker in it. Once you trigger it, it sends out a signal that the police can follow and it'll track you to where you go. The app is free, so you can go to iTunes, Google Play, and you can download the app for free. Now, one of the things that When Georgia Smiled created was the Aspire Initiative, which is what she was talking about, an interactive curriculum designed to help tweens, teens, and adults. But one of the things I wanted to go over while we're here is a safe exit plan. Number 1, you want to notify a friend or family member or someone you trust that you are planning on ending the relationship. You want to identify a code word that you can text a friend or trusted person in the event that you're in trouble, or you can use the Aspire app. 3, if you don't feel safe, don't break up in person. Just simply don't do it. 4, identify a safe place that you can go where someone you trust can pick you up. Contact loveisrespect.org to find resources in your own area. Now, when you go into the program, there will be more details in there about things you want to do, like copying key documents for children for custody purposes, getting a separate set of keys made. All of these things are in there that will help you just have a template so you know what to do to get away safely. Now, let me do a shameless plea for donations for When Georgia Smiled. Every penny of every donation that goes to When Georgia Smiled goes to an end user. And Robin uses this money to support women's shelters. And she adopts shelters all over the country, all up and down through California. And these shelters, a lot of the things are donated to the shelters, a lot of food is donated to the shelters, but they need money to pay utilities, to pay mortgages, to pay rent. And When Georgia Smiled needs donations, because right now there are more domestic violence victims, women and children, than there are beds.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You're out of beds.
Yes, that's right. They never know when they're going to get a family, so they have to always be prepared. And they are so loving and giving to these families, and they keep them as long as they need to be there, and they have to be funded. And it's just so important to donate to foundations such as When Georgia Smiled, because we're the ones that give the money to these shelters so they can take care of these victims.
Yeah. And there is no overhead. It all goes to the victims and to the shelters. You can go to the website, whengeorgiasmiled.org. You can see more about the good works that they do. But please help us help them. We need to keep these shelters open for these people.